It's hot today. Cheers. I'm drinking Korean sejak in an old cup. This is joint venture that I had with my friend Genevieve, carte à la carte. It is Monday, April 14th, and it is 22 degrees Celsius in Montreal, and we're expecting thunder showers, and tomorrow 20 centimeters of snow. Really? This is so funny. The weather is all over the place this year. This spring has been so weird. There's still snow on the ground. I just got back from a walk, by the way. Excuse my disheveled look and the lack of makeup. I'll explain later. It's in the middle of the afternoon because that was the only time today that I had to come on and talk to you. I haven't been talking to you in probably a couple of weeks, or maybe, no, I think it was last week. No, it was the week before. Yes, I think it was beginning of April. Why? I'm struggling with time management. I have an issue. But I think I've come up with a plan while I was taking my walk today, and I'm going to try it out today. I've worked really hard to become a day person. As most of you know, I was and always have been a nighttime person. Now I have a different lifestyle. I have neighbors up and below me. They're working on the apartment below me, so I'll have new neighbors. And vlogging or talking at night is not possible. The neighbor upstairs, I hear him snoring at 9:30 because I hear him snoring and other things, but I don't want to talk about them. So it's very strange. Very strange coming from a big house to an apartment. But anyways, it's only temporary. My next place is fully insulated, so I won't have that problem. But anyways, back on track. I really have worked hard to be a day person, and it worked for a while. But as of 2 weeks ago, I kind of fell off the wagon. I was going to bed later and later, and I don't know if that is I don't know if the fatigue that I'm feeling is a result of that or other things. I think I'm struggling with my medication that I'm taking and my gluten-free diet. I think there's something wrong in my body right now. So I'm seeing my specialist on Wednesday. Hopefully that will help. But in the meantime, it's no excuse. I need to get back on track. I need to lose weight. I need to start exercising more regularly. I do it, but not very regularly. It's very random. And sometimes I eat super well and sometimes I eat super bad. So, and I think this is all tied into time management. If you don't have enough time, if you're always rushing, you don't eat properly, you don't exercise. And so tomorrow I'm going to start testing out what the plan that I have in mind. And if that works, only if that works, I can't promise anything. Maybe I'll have to reevaluate, but my plan is to vlog at least 5 times on the weekdays, so Monday to Friday. That is my goal, because I do have a lot to share, but there's too much, and when there's too much, I don't do anything. Am I the only one struggling with this? Because it's very frustrating. My planner, on the other hand, is working really well, and judging by what you guys have told me, you're very interested in seeing it, so I'm still test driving it, like I said, and in May I will do, I will show you how I do that. Before I forget, thank you all for your comments, by the way. I really appreciate each and every one of you, although I may not reply to everyone, you know, just to say thank you. Sometimes I am very thankful to all of you, but I don't want to say thank you to each and every individual person like I used to, because now the comments are getting too many for me to handle. If there's a question, of course, I will reply, and sometimes I may reply to some of the comments, but I read them all, and they all touch me. But there's one comment that sticks to mind, and it's from Steffi from Little Red Wagon. I don't know how she or oh, I guess I know what it is. In my last vlog, I was talking about Constance and I spoke to her in French, and Steffi says, oh, I wish you could speak to me in French. So Steffi, j'espère que tu passes une belle journée. J'espère que tu travailles sur de beaux projets. Et j'espère que tu as compris ce que je viens de te dire. I have no idea where you live, Steffi. I don't know if you're French, if you're in the province, outside of the province. But anyways, I hope that you understood what I told you. If you don't, let me know. I will translate to you. Okay, so on to the art journaling part. I know in my last vlog I said I was going to doodle. I kind of did. I remade my doodle with the house with the mustache, kind of, sort of, in my new doodle journal, but I haven't completed it. I really wanted that piece in my journal. I did it a little bit differently. But anyways, I just started it and I never really finished it. So I will show it to you when it's done, although it's a remake. But I have embarked on a mission with my art journaling. I'll show you here. So as you can see, I have little sticky pads that are sticking out here. There's some pinks and some yellow ones, the larger yellow ones. What that means is that all the pink stickies are pages where the background is ready to accept something else, whether it's a quote, whether it's more stenciling, more paints, but they're just backgrounds that I like, but they're not finished to me. So, and I will do them. So I call those my updos. The yellow tags are my redos. And today I want to show you a redo and an updo. The updo is something that I had started not with the intention of doing like a full-on page. It was just a bunch of leftovers or some new supplies that I was testing out for the tutorials that I do for the store, and they were kind of okay. The page was kind of okay, but nothing was standing out. So I'll show you how I finished it off. The other one is a very, very way too long project that should have taken less time, and it frustrated me so much to the point where I couldn't do anything else. It almost possessed me. I don't know if you've ever had that problem, but when something goes wrong, instead of moving on to some other things, it stays with me. Mainly it's because it's me not being able to do what I have envisioned, getting frustrated. Instead of moving on, I just keep at it until it just like I blow it out of proportion, really. So, and that's not what art journaling is to me. So I will explain. I've already filmed the bits that I'm going to show you right now, but I'm going to explain what I mean by that, and you'll see in my process. I have actually filmed the whole process, and I haven't edited anything yet, but I will try to keep it as short as possible. So I think I'm going to show that. I have the 2 pages to show you right now, and I'll be right back. Alright, so the first project is a double spread that I was using to test out some new products that I had to play with. And you can see in the background the butterflies were done with an embossing cream by Studio 490, as well as a metal stencil. And I liked the effect, but the butterfly on the right had been unfortunately drowned with a whole bunch of sprays and paints that I was testing out as well, and it was not popping as much as I thought it would, or as much as I wanted it to. So I'm using the Permaball Pilot pen to highlight in between those embossed areas, and it just makes everything pop, and I love it. That pen is perfect if you want to doodle or if you want to add some accents, but use it as a last layer. As I found, it is not always permanent. So therefore it's not permanent all the time. If you're thinking of spraying over this, just be very careful. It might run on you. But that butterfly all it needed was that black highlight, and I really, really liked the way it turned out. And you also saw me going over the letters. That was a word that I had put there, and I ended up just doubling up some of the ascending lines or descending lines. And that's a trick I use to revamp my own handwriting, because it's like everybody else's handwriting. It's not always your favorite. And now I'm just adding the quote, and I'm done. All right, oof, metallic paint, very, very in your face. Need to cover that. I'm using gesso here to cover up the whole thing. And you can see I have some texture going on there. It was a stencil that I had put down with some waddling paste. And now I'm going over the somewhat semi-dry, I would say, gesso with a BB wipe and removing some of the gesso, and it creates that beautiful texture, which I absolutely love. And to me, it reminds me of weathered wood. So right now I'm sketching the outline of a flower. It's a hollyhock. I had found this beautiful picture on Pinterest. It was a photograph actually, and I'm trying to reproduce it. But you'll see later on that I kind of gave up on it and it wasn't going my way. The reason for that was that I was trying to render a flower that was white and kind of like salmon pinkish onto a white background. And unfortunately, the white areas didn't show enough. And I also had the reflection of those two lights that sits on my desk, which I need when I film. And I really was upset at how it turned out. It wasn't going my way. It was way too difficult. So I'm kind of fiddling around with it for a while. And you'll see me later on. See, now I'm starting to add some of the creams and the whites, and that's where it went really bad. It got lost. It got lost, and I had to redo the whole thing. So what I ended up doing is keeping the top portion of it because I liked it. It was fine. There was barely any white in there, so it went okay. But then I ended up covering that flower with gray paint, as you can see now, and I also went over with a baby wipe. So I just decided to go for broke the next day, not the next day, but the next week, and started adding just colors. I just laid down some colors. And unbeknownst to me, without having too much structure, I was able to sort of recreate the flower that I was so desperately trying to sketch and reproduce perfectly. So this was a page that demanded a lot of me. But in the end, I'm happy. But the lesson I got from that is that you need to go with the flow. If you're trying to be too strict, this is art journaling. This is not fine arts by any means. Am I an artist that will expose or that will exhibit her pieces of artwork anywhere? This is for me and you, because I like to share some tips, but mainly for me. And as you can see now, I'm getting a lot closer to a hollyhock than I intended it to be when I started redoing the flower, which was okay. So I'm just adding more of the paints, and now I'm going to create the center of the flower. And from that point on, it kind of started being fun. And I guess once you let go of that anyways, the boundaries or the structure, things just start flowing much better, and you get better results. And I was really in a happy place when I finally understood to let go. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So now I'm adding whites and also Titan Buff and some Naples yellow. The white was able to show much better now that I had put some gray color in the background, so that also helped as well. And I'm just mixing color, just having fun. Like I said, I was going according to the photograph, but not in a strict manner. if that makes any sense. And I thought, well, I'll end up with a flower, and the flower will look like a flower no matter what, and it'll be my own interpretation. And it just ended up being something that was pretty darn close to the photograph. Most of the paints that I've used for this page are golden paints, which I like. They're very glossy, and I'm also working with a flat brush, which enabled me to do more of a gradient, or more of a dry brushing technique, to incorporate the white and kind of create that gradient that I needed to create with the salmon color. Now I'm adding some gray because while I was looking at the photograph a lot closer, I could tell that there's some spots that had some gray. Although the flower is white, obviously a flower, because of the lighting, I guess, it wasn't a true white. And I also decided to add some green because the flower didn't pop enough. So I'm adding a very kind of like a wash of green, and I'm feathering it out with my fingers. So I'm applying it with the brush, and then I'm rubbing off with my fingers to make it seamless and incorporate that in the background. Okay, so now I'm going to create the wood planks, and that was a lot of fun. So I took a fine liner and I added some gray. The line that you see across in the middle is actually not a line I just created, although it looks like it. It's the crease of the book. But it's funny, when I look at it now, it looks like a line that I've created, but I've restricted the lines to the background. So I'm adding some horizontal lines as well. And I kind of went over them with my fingers just to blend them with the background. And now I'm going to write the quote, which in hindsight I should have lived by. You'll understand when the quote is completed. But I'm using Stabilo black pencil, which is great because it is erasable and it's also water soluble. I'm now using a liner brush with some water to go over the letters. And I didn't like where the placement of go left was, so as you can see, I'm erasing with just a regular eraser, and I got a good result. I'm going over those again, and I'm calling it a day. Oh, of course, need to sign it. All right, so I'm officially done. This was very painful for me, in the sense that I tried once, it didn't work, I got discouraged, I put it to the side, and then I tried a second time, and when I tried a second time, I was going to just do whatever flower I could come up with, but I actually ended up following kind of sorta the original picture that I had in mind. So this is the original picture that I had found on Pinterest. It's a hollyhock. The proportions are totally wrong, but it's a flower. Flower is a flower. It's not perfect. But I think all in all, it came out okay. Mine is a little bit more whimsical than the picture, but I like it. But I don't think I'm ever going to stick to a project like this for as long as I have with this one, meaning that, you know, if it doesn't work, just find something else. Hence the quote. It says, when nothing goes right, go left. Of course, I didn't listen to it, but this is just a reminder of what to do in the future. But I persevered and I did it, but that's not the intention of, to me, that's not the intention of an art journal. An art journal is supposed to take you somewhere as opposed to you taking it somewhere. I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, but to me, art journaling is putting something on a page, like either paint or watercolor or stencils or sprays, and letting it speak to you. Whereas this was totally the opposite, and it was painful, and I don't ever want to do this again. Although I do like the outcome, though. I'm quite proud of it. I persevered and I like it, but that is not, to me, that is not true art journaling. Having said that, I'm quite happy. I love the texture that I got from the stencil that I had originally laid down, and this was a result, like, this is probably going back to last year. Last year when I was, as you know, when I do something for the store, I always test it out in my book. And you can see here, I've got some stenciling as well. I got some down here. Here you can see I have bookmarked my my journal because there are some things that I need to finish. Like, this is a nice background. I don't know if you've ever seen this. Again, this was a result of stuff that I was trying out. There's some embossing here with some Lindy Stamp Gang wonderful embossing powders. There's some stamping with paint. These are Donna Downey's flowers, the foam stamps. So I like the page the way it is, but I would like to add, you know, some journaling and stuff like that. So wherever you see like pink tabs like this, it's because I need to either add something or finish off a page. And whenever there's, I'll give you another example. Whenever there's a yellow sticky, it means cover it up and do over. Again, this is another one of those pages where everything that I had on my table while I was working ended up going in there. Of course, to me, it's too busy and too much. But if I partially cover it up with paint, then I can do something. I have some interesting textures that are totally intentional, which is always fun. So I don't know. I mean, you know, it might just be covered up with just one single color or just gessoed all in all. So I have a couple of pages like that. Like, you're probably familiar with this. So this is how I test out the products and the pieces that I want to do. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you, what I was talking about, your artwork leading you as opposed to you leading your artwork. I think art journaling is supposed to be very impromptu, very organic, and to me it means letting my supplies or whatever I've already laid down guide me towards the next step. And that hollyhock was not it at all. That was me getting very upset at a flower. Seriously? Anyways, but I finished it. I kind of like the way it turned out, so kudos for sticking with it. But I don't think I ever want to go through that again. Me being so frustrated and so upset and believing in my inabilities not to do anything, really. You know, I don't want to go there anymore. This was cathartic for me. I finished it last night and oops, I'm vlogging this morning. Funny how that works. Anyways, so that is it. I'm going to keep it short because I do have a lot of work to do today, and hopefully I will come back tomorrow. I have stuff to show you, so I will come back tomorrow. So I hope that this rambling wasn't too much for you. If you like this vlog, give it a thumbs up. It helps. And as usual, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and I will see you later. Bye.